Hello everyone, this is Sportimus here. This time I'll be reviewing the Classics line Autobot Mirage. These guys aren't available in stores anymore, and pretty soon they probably won't be very easily found on eBay either. So if you have the money and you have the desire, I highly recommend these. This being a fine example of how excellent the Classics line really was and is, and hopefully will be when it returns this fall as the Universe line. So don't look for the Classics line. The Classics line is called Universe line, okay? So be on the lookout for that this fall 2008. So on to the first wave of the Classics line. This is the Mirage. Now I gotta say, when I was a kid, I grew up in the G1 era. I grew up in the 80s, and I had Mirage in my hands, and I didn't care for him. Not that he was a bad toy. I just didn't like the way he looked. He's supposed to be a Formula 1 racer back in those days, but he didn't look right to me. And I don't know why. It just, it didn't appeal to me. We all have our different tastes. So I passed him up, and I'm sorry I did, because who would have known that he'd be so desirable today? Anyhow, no regrets, because you gotta move forward, not backward. What we do have is a very nice homage to the original Generation 1 Mirage. Now there are some differences, but there are also lots of similarities, such as his colors. He was, just like in his original form, blue and white, although this blue is a little lighter and a little brighter than the original G1. He's more aerodynamic than the original G1, particularly the front. And the original one had a somewhat of a bathtub shape, sort of a U shape, whereas this is more, I don't know, pointy. If that adds more confusion, I don't know, but that's my attempt. But there are also some similarities, such as the number 26, just as the original. And the rest is different, such as WitWiki spark plugs. That wasn't there, but that's a nice homage to the WitWiki family in Generation 1. You have FP Racing, and you have a closed canopy, whereas the original one was an open canopy. It has the Lithuanian drivetrain on each side here. So they couldn't use the original markings, but they did what they could, and they did a fine job of it. Simply a fantastic figure, because you don't really see any robot parts. It's very well concealed. I mean, at least to me. Nothing out of the real ordinary. Very, very nice. He has some nice exhaust on each end. And here comes the fire truck, folks. Woohoo! Number 26, and these are just little green markings. You got the Autobot rub symbol. Can I get it to work? Yeah, it's not showing up on camera. Anyway, there he is. Very, very nice. Rolls very well. But this is tablecloth, so it slows it down quite a bit, and he's a very low car. But he would roll better on a flat, hard surface. Now take him on, take him to robot mode. You take off the front spoiler. That becomes his weapon, and there's a little hole in the front. And that's his pea shooter. That didn't sound right, did it? Anyway, you're supposed to flip this up, but you don't really have to. And you bring this out like that. and you separate it from the cab, from the front portion. And you pull it all the way back. And these will form his feet. So you push them upward like so. And you pull it back like that. And the same thing for the other one. And that forms his feetses. Okay? Now, this figure, and I'll show you in a little bit, reminds me of the toy line that's coming up. And if you are wondering what toy line I'm referring to the animated toy line. And the reason why, and I'll show you in a second, is because of the way he looks. Pull his arms out. And then this part here, bring it down. Oh, two parts. First this part, bring it around, and then his nose. And there's his head. And then you bring out his hands. Same thing, they're tucked in, just like Classics Rodimus and Starscream and Skywarp and a few others. Very, 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 very nice toy. And he's been accused of being on the anorexic side. Bring his waist around. But you know what? What you get out of it more than makes up for it. So that is the Classics line Mirage. And his head he looks down because that's the way he's formed. He has this bar here. He can't go any higher than that. So he looks a little bit on the down, but he's very athletic looking. He has that animated look to him where he has a small waist, big legs, and sort of a V-shaped body. So he reminds me of the animated, at least to me. Stick his weapon on his hand here, and there he is. And I'll tell you, this guy, you can't get any better in posability. Don't make a liar out of me. I mean, he is simply fantastic in posability. I mean, it's just, you can get some really wild poses out of him. I mean, he can bend back like no one's business. I mean, he's just incredible. He has excellent posability. So, you know what? He bends at the knee. I mean, seriously bends at the knee. He has a flexible foot. He's got excellent leg movement joints here. They're ball jointed here at this end. His arms are excellent. The front wheels get in the way behind him, but otherwise, he has excellent movement. He bends at the elbow like nobody's business. I mean, he bends at the waist 360 degrees. I mean, how many robots can do that? Huh? How many humans can do that? So, he is one wicked cool character, and if you don't have him, I highly recommend him. He's one of my favorites. There's not a single Classics line that I don't like, however, just so you know. There's not a single one that I cannot think of that I don't like. But if you can find Mirage, I highly recommend getting him at a good price, okay? Don't pay $50 for him, but you know, if you can find him and you can buy him, get him. This is Sportimus, and he gets a 10 out of 10 across the board. Well, despite his limited head articulation and the front wheels getting in the way of his arm going back, all of that is more than made up for with the way this guy moves and the way he can stand. I mean, he is awesome. So anyway, this is Sportimus. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I got more classics lined up along the way. So till then, have a good one.